We are only 2 days away from the 2020 MLB draft. It is closing in on us quickly. And later on this week, maybe even tomorrow, little mock draft, or at least talk about my favorite prospects in the draft, because I've been doing some scouting. Ooh, there's some good guys. Today, we're going to focus again on a previous draft. Going to be talking about 10 players, 10 MLB All Stars who never played for the team that ended up drafting them. So if you got drafted by the Miami Marlins, and you never played for them, made an All-Star team, you can be in today's video. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like on it. That's the best way to show your support. If we hit like 2,000, 2,500 likes, we'll get that mock draft type video coming at you tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy the content. I normally don't say this, but click that bell icon. Get notified when I'm uploading. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about the MLB draft coming up. Who's your most anticipated player that could be drafted? And remember, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. Always talking baseball over there. For the first All-Star in today's video, let's talk about Ben Zobrist, who was drafted in the 2004 MLB draft in the 6th round by the Houston Astros out of Dallas Baptist University. Zobrist, drafted in 2004, was traded 2 years later to the Tampa Bay Rays in exchange for Aubrey Huff and cash. That's how he ended up making his way to the Tampa Bay Rays. That's where he got his career started. That's where it really took off. He became the super utility man, kind of like redefined that position. Played him very well, also could hit. He's had a 14-year career where he's made 3 All-Star teams, a 2-time World Series champion, and a World Series MVP. He has just over 1,500 hits with 167 homers, 349 doubles, and 768 RBIs while stealing over 100 bases, a 266 average with a 357 on base, 426 slugging, gives him an OPS just under 800 at 783. Zobrist is one of those players that's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, not going to be one of the best of all time, but you also can't leave his name out of the conversation when you're talking about like the early 2010s, because he kind of redefined a position in baseball. The second player in today's video, first pitcher of the list, is going to be Patrick Corbin. Corbin was drafted in the 2nd round in the 2009 MLB draft by the Los Angeles Angels. Now, of course, we know Corbin for getting his career started in Arizona. How exactly did he get there? Well, in 2010, just a year after being drafted, the Los Angeles Angels traded a player to be named later, Rafael Rodriguez, Joe Saunders, and Patrick Corbin to the Arizona Diamondbacks for Dan Herron. Player to be named later actually ended up being Tyler Skaggs, who went to the Diamondbacks as well. Now, of course, we know about the Patrick Corbin in the last 2 years. He's been healthy, pitched over 200 innings every single season, been right around that top 10, top 5 for the Cy Young voting the past 2 years. He's become one of the better left-handed starting pitchers in Major League Baseball. In his 7-year career, he has a 70-61 record with a 3.80 ERA and a whip at 1.267 in just under 1,200 innings pitched, with 1,135 strikeouts and 341 walks. But as we know, Patrick Corbin really became a better pitcher the last 2 seasons, averaging 10.8 strikeouts per 9, 2.6 walks, 7.4 hits, and 0.9 home runs. One of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball right now. Next up, we've got one of the most dominant relievers in all of Major League Baseball, Josh Hader, who was selected by the Baltimore Orioles in the 19th round in the 2012 MLB draft. He was a Maryland kid, so kind of like a little hometown thing. A year after the Orioles drafted Josh Hader, they traded him along with LJ Hose and a 2014 competitive balance pick to the Houston Astros for Bud Norris, so he could have been an Astro, but then the Astros 2 years later traded him, Adrian Hauser, Brett Phillips, and Domingo Santana to the Brewers in exchange for Mike Fiers and Carlos Gomez in cash. Now, Hader's only really been in the majors for 2 full seasons and half of 2017, but so far he is 2 for 3. 2-time All-Star, finished 7th in the Cy Young voting in 2018. He was filthy. 204 innings pitched out of the bullpen, 49 saves, a whip under 1 at .850. That's absolutely disgusting. Striking out 349 batters, walking 72, and giving up 28 homers. That gives him a K per 9 of 15.3, walks per 9 of 3.2, homers at 1.2, and hits per 9 at 4.5. Hader has been an absolutely dominant closer. You could even make the argument he's the best. For the 4th player, it's a little bit more well-known, but Anthony Rizzo, not drafted by the Cubs. In fact, Anthony Rizzo was drafted by the Boston Red Sox in the 2007 draft in the 6th round out of Stoneman Douglas High School, and I feel like a lot of people probably thought he was even drafted by the Padres because that's where he made his debut in 2011. In the offseason leading into the 2011 season, the Boston Red Sox traded a player to be named later, Ray Fuentes, Casey Kelly, who's now playing actually in the KBO, and Anthony Rizzo to the San Diego Padres for Adrian Gonzalez. The way he ended up on the Cubs actually is then the Padres traded Zach Cates and Anthony Rizzo to the Cubs for Kyung-Min Na and Andrew Kashner. Rizzo, of course, is one of the best first basemen in the league ever since he really started getting like that consistent playing time with the Cubs. Since 2014, he's averaging 30 homers, 30 doubles, and 100 RBIs a season with an OPS above 900. He's got a great glove at first base. He's an awesome leader, great captain per se, and was a vital part of the Cubs' success during that stretch where they won the World Series and were a really, really good team. In his 9-year career, he has 1,200 hits, 218 homers, 262 doubles. He's hitting .273 with a 373 on base, 488 slugging to give him a career OPS of 862, and that's after a slow start to his career the first 3 seasons. At the halfway point of the video, we're actually going to be talking about the Chicago Cubs, a player that they had, but he never played for them, and that's going to be Josh Donaldson, who they picked in the 1st round, 48th overall out of Auburn, and at the time that they drafted him, he was actually a catcher. A year after being drafted by the Cubs, they traded Josh Donaldson in 2008 along with Sean Gallagher, Matt Merton, Martin, Eric Patterson to the Oakland A's in exchange for Chad Gaudin and Rich Harden. He then made his way to the Blue Jays, Indians, Braves throughout his career, but never played a game for the Cubs. In his 9-year career, Josh Donaldson has 1,048 hits, 219 homers, 226 doubles with 645 RBIs. He's hitting .273 with a .369 on base, .509 slugging, giving an OPS at .878, making him one of the best third basemen in the game in the last 10 years, and that's even with some off years and being injured and not really being a power hitter just yet. The bringer of rain is definitely back. At the number 6 spot, let's go to the 2007 Major League Baseball draft. 4th round pick by the San Diego Padres out of Stetson University, Corey Kluber. 3 years after being drafted by the Padres, he was traded at the trade deadline to the Cleveland Indians in a pretty convoluted trade. The Padres sent Nick Greenwood to the St. Louis Cardinals, and they sent Corey Kluber to the Indians. The Indians then sent Jake Westbrook to the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Cardinals sent Ryan Ludwig to the Padres. Now, up until this current season, Corey Kluber has only ever played in Cleveland. 9 years, 98-58 record with a 3.16 ERA and a whip at 1.086. He won 2 Cy Young awards, finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting 2 other times, and then 9th in 2015. In just over 1,300 innings pitched, he struck out 1,461 batters, walking 292, K per 9 of 9.8, walk per 9 of 2.0, home run per 9 under 1, and hits per 9 at 7.8. Corey Kluber is a top pitcher of the last 10 years, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. You don't find that too often. So I'm starting to realize a lot of these players cross paths with the Indians, because for our 7th player in today's video, we have the 7th round pick from the 2005 MLB draft by the Milwaukee Brewers, Michael Brantley. I actually didn't even know this one until I did my research. I thought Michael Brantley was always an Indian. But 3 years after being drafted, in July, the Milwaukee Brewers sent a player to be named later to the Cleveland Indians for CC Sabathia, and that player to be named later was Michael Brantley. Funny enough, he was the best guy involved in that trade considering he was a player to be named later, because the other players they got were Rob Bryson, Zach Johnson, and Matt Laporta, who really didn't do much ever. Brantley last year played his first season outside of Cleveland with the Houston Astros and had a phenomenal year. In his 11-year career, he has 1,374 hits, just over 100 homers and 288 doubles, 618 RBIs, stole 121 bases, 297 average with a 354 on base, 439 slugging, gives him an OPS at 792. Brantley, one of the better contact hitters in the game, hits it to all fields, really balanced at the plate, drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers. For the 8th player in today's video, we have one of my personal favorites because it involves the New York Mets, except this time we actually won a trade, because Noah Syndergaard was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in 2010 in the 1st round, 38th overall, and he never played a single game with them. To me, this feels like one of the best trades the Mets have ever made, because they somehow took R.A. Dickey, and they were able to flip him, Mike Nickias, and Josh Tolley for Wilmer Becerra, John Buck, Travis d'Arnaud, and Noah Syndergaard. Now, last season for Noah was definitely the worst he's had in his career, but when he's healthy and on the field, he is pretty good. In his 5 years in Major League Baseball, he's pitched 716 innings, a 47-30 record with a 3.31 ERA and a whip at 1.161, striking out 775 batters throughout that time, walking 166. Syndergaard has always had the potential to be one of the best pitchers in the game, just haven't seen him get through there just yet. I'd love to see him really tap into that potential again. The second to last player in today's video is going to be Yasmani Grandal, who was selected 12th overall in the 2010 MLB draft by the Cincinnati Reds out of the University of Miami. Now, Grandal had a pretty crazy start to his career, being traded quite a bit. In the offseason going into the 2012 season, he was traded with Yonder Alonso, Brad Boxberger, and Edinson Volquez to the San Diego Padres for Matt Latos. Remember that guy? 3 years later, after playing a little bit for the Padres, he got traded to the Dodgers in the Matt Kemp trade. Big Yasmani Grandal fan, 2nd best catcher in the league. I'm still going JT at 1. In the 8-year career for Yasmani Grandal, he has 673 hits, 141 homers, 136 doubles, 416 RBIs, 241 average with a 348 on base, 446 slugging, given an OPS at 794. Had a really solid season last year for the Brewers. Never going to be a high average guy, but he'll put out a lot of power for you, plays good defense behind the plate. If it wasn't for JT Realmuto being a freak of nature, you're looking at the best catcher in baseball right here. White Sox got a great one in Grandal. And then for the final player in today's video, we are going all the way back to the 2000 MLB draft. This guy is still playing in the majors today, drafted in the 1st round, 29th overall by the Atlanta Braves, Adam Wainwright. 3-time All-Star, 2006 World Series champion. 3 years after being drafted by the Braves, they traded him to the St. Louis Cardinals along with Ray King and Jason Marquis for JD Drew and Eli Marrero. It's funny to think of him as a lifetime Cardinal, one of their best pitchers of all time, but they didn't in theory even draft him. 14-year career, 2,100 innings pitched, a 162-95 record with a 3.39 ERA and a whip at 1.23, and his numbers have been kind of skewed the last 4 years because he just hasn't really been that good. But you take Adam Wainwright's prime, 2006 to 2015, you're looking at a guy who has a sub-3 ERA, never the nastiest pitcher in the league, never had the most strikeouts, but he'd go out there every 5 days, he'd eat innings, get outs, a guy that was always a really good pitcher. So those are the 10 MLB All-Stars that never played for the team that drafted them. I'd love to know what you think. Are you surprised? Did you not know some of these guys weren't drafted by the team they played for? Or I should say never played a game for the team that they were drafted by. Because, you know, a lot of guys move teams, but the team that drafted them never even got to really appreciate them. And a lot of times these trades kind of did end up working out. What'd I say, like 2,000, 2,500 likes, something like that? You'll get a mock draft prospect video coming at you tomorrow. So you want to see that? Drop a like. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you love the content. Click that bell icon to get notified. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, everything. Links in the description as always. And that's where we're going to wrap up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this one as well as this is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.